Here we are then, part 2 of the Morris Ambulance project. So thanks for all the attention and all the interest in this. It seems to have done really well, the first episode. So here we are, the second episode. You left us with ripping out the interior and dropping out the engine and box. So now it's time to pull the ambulance out of the workshop with the forklift to make room for the donor vehicle. And from last episode, we filled the donor vehicle full of rubbish. So the first job was to empty all of the wood out onto the bonfire so that we could get on with taking this apart. So as I said before, this is a 2002 Nissan Cabster lorry with a 2.7 litre diesel engine. Now, there have been some questions about the choice of this vehicle. It was chosen because the wheelbase and the track width are pretty much identical to the Morris ambulance. It's also got cable, gear change, fly-by-wire throttle and hydraulic clutch and brake. And along with a few other things and the chassis rail width and everything, it makes it a pretty damn good close match to the ambulance. I'm aware that the engine probably won't be the most fun, but I'm not trying to race this thing, I'm just trying to make a nice reliable van. So to me it made sense to have a vehicle that I knew went together as one, so I could use as many bits off the one vehicle as possible. So that's why we chose it. So here it is going into the workshop. This is its last drive as a Nissan, and then we set about taking off the remaining bits. Basically want everything off this, the axles, the wiring loom, the fuel tank, steering box. Yeah, it's a pretty tidy kit, and also if it being forward control, the steering box is pretty much in the right place. So then Ben came down to join us, and that sped things along, and we set about tackling the cab and removing acres of plastic fantastic. And then Adam and Ben lost the plot and decided to try and loosen the body off the body mounts. I think it's just about gone there. That's clearly what it says in the Haynes manual for how to do that. So yeah, there were so many plugs in this thing, despite it being quite a simple vehicle. Yeah, look, that's all the dash and the heater box, and then the plastic bit that goes over the other plastic bit to protect the plastic bit underneath. It was incredible how much plastic was in it. But yeah, fortunately all the wiring unplugged. There was a big master plug on the floor, so we could take all of that out. This will be one of the main elements we're probably going to have problems with, the electrics. Ben then decided, and I agreed with him, that cutting a hole in the floor to let the gear selector go out was better than disconnecting all of the linkages and then us having to try and set them up again to select the gears properly. So that all came out. So we haven't had to, anything we haven't had to disconnect, we haven't. Mainly so we're not disturbing anything, and also safe for the work. So in with the forklift, off with the cab. So that came off quite easily. If anybody's after some Nissan Cabster doors, headlights, seats, rear body, anything like that, well, we have it all, and we're not going to use it. I know that the parts can be quite hard to find.
Steering's not working.
It's light though, isn't it?
Yeah, really light. Isn't it not just you moderate?
Anyway, it's time to start very carefully disconnecting all the engine ancillaries. Lots of labelling going on here, labelling all the wires and pipes so that we know where they come from and where they go to, and also what they do. And then as soon as the engine was taken out, as many of these were reconnected again, just so that we didn't lose any bits or forget what things did. So amazingly, this vehicle's over 20 years old, and still pretty much all of the bolts, in fact I think all of the bolts did come undone. Some of them did take a little bit of persuading, but once you got them off or open or the nut off, the threads and the bolts, they look brand new inside. And you look at a bolt that was really rusty, or the nut had been, say, in the wheel arch. It's had years of the salt and the water on it, and you think there's no way that's going to come undone. Thinking with our Land Rover heads on. And they'd undo. Put a bit of BDX oil on and they'd undo. So credit to Nissan for the quality of their fixings. Really are impressive. Quite the revelation. But here we go, engines coming out. As you can see, we've kept many of the ancillaries on that didn't need to come off because we're pretty much going to use it as is. So best not to disturb things if you can get away with it. And once the engine was out, we reconnected a lot of the other ones just loosely, just again so that we can remember where things went, and so we don't lose any bits, keep everything together. And then I started ordering some parts, and Ben set up a spare room in the flat. So part 3 next Friday. Hopefully you enjoy and join in.